weekly Bhakti Vaibhav class. So last week we just started chapter 16, wherein we saw, in order to inspire Chitraketu Maharaj, how Narada Muni, entering himself into the dead body of the sun, Arshashoka, began to speak some important philosophical uh, truths to the king, which the king was not ready to hear from Angira Rishi, previously when Angira Rishi came to the kingdom. So especially the Narada Muni, after waking up the small child, he told, "My dear child, where have you gone? See, your parents are here, your relatives are here, and your kingdom is here, and you are supposed to live long. Why did you go early?" Etc. etc. So keeping them as a reference, the child answers, "Who are my parents? In hundreds of lifetimes, I have different parents. Who are these parents?" And relationship takes place because of the marriage, birth, and few other things. So someone who is related to me to now may become enemy in the next life, or somebody who was enemy in the previous life may become son or some relative in this life. So which is true? The previous one is true or the current one is true? And I being the son of somebody is only as long as I am with them. Just like the money, as long as in one's hand, that money belongs to that person. When the money is given to somebody else, that belongs to somebody else. Same way, as long as I was there with you, I was your son. I was related to you. When I left you, I have nothing to do with you. So in that way, so apparently seems to be very harsh, but that is the reality. So then he says that the jiva has no identity. The body in which a person resides, accordingly one gets identity in this material world. So from the material world point of view, jiva has no identity. And jiva's only identity is Jiva is an eternal fragmental part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Then who is Supreme Lord? The Supreme Lord is Nitya, Avyaya, Sukshma, Sarvashraya, Swadruk, Atma, Atma Maya, Atma Maya Gunair, and Vishwam Atmanam. So these are all different attributes of the Supreme Lord with whom we have an eternal relationship. Otherwise, Jiva has no eternal relationship with the material objects or people in this material world. So, in that way. And that Lord has no one friends or enemies, and he does not favor anybody, he does not disfavor anybody. Instead, he is a witness of all our activities. He acting as Paramatma, he witnesses all our activities. So that is Paramatma aspect. But at the same time, when he takes on to the role of Bhagavan, he shows the favoritism. Paramatma does not show any favoritism. But Bhagavan shows complete favoritism, more than what we can show to our near and dear. Therefore, become an associate of that Bhagavan who can show complete favoritism, and that favoritism, that relationship is eternal, and it will never lost its existence. It will never lose its existence. And whatever relationships we have, they don't have permanent existence. So with these few words, uh, the jiva stops his speech and then goes away. And then what happens is what is explained in the following chapter. So let us see. Sri Badarayanir Uvacha
श्रीबादरायणेरुवाच
Ityudirya Gato Jiva
इत्युदीर्य गतो जीवो
Jnatayastasya Te Tada
ज्ञातयस्तस्य ते यदा
Vismita mumuchu shokam
Vismita mumuchu shokam
chitvatma sneha shrunkalam.
chitvatma sneha shrunkhalam. Sri Shukadev Goswami continued, when the conditioned soul, Jiva, in the form of Maharaj Chitraketu's son, had spoken in this way and then left, Chitraketu and the other relatives of the dead son were all astonished. Thus they cut off the shackles of their affection, which was due to their relationship with him, and gave up their lamentation.
Especially after hearing the philosophical words spoken by the small child, Chitraketu Maharaj, his wife Krutituti, and all other family members, friends, and relatives, they all, first of all, they became very much astonished. And then they understood the import of those words. As a result of that, they cut off the shackles of their affection for the dead son and then gave up their lamentation. And then they understood that, okay, this is the reality of life. So, in that way, they stopped crying, they stopped lamenting, and they became sober. So, this was the result of hearing from the small kid who was actually Narada Muni himself. And then they will perform the final rites of the dead son. And after all the rituals are over, then the king will be eager to take spiritual instructions, more spiritual instructions from the great sages, Narada Muni and Angira Rishi. That will be followed afterwards. Nihritta jnata yognater
निर्हृत्य ज्ञातयो ज्ञातेर्
deham krutvochita kriya
देहं कृत्वोचिता क्रियाम्
satyajurdyustajam sneham
सत्यजुर्दुस्त्यजं स्नेहं
shokamoha bhayarditam
शोकमोहभयार्दितम्. After the
balagno. One second. Both the shlokas together. बालज्ञो व्रीडितस्ताता व्रीडितास्तत्र
बालज्ञो व्रीडितास्तत्र
बालहत्या हतप्रभा
बालहत्या हतप्रभा
बालहत्या व्रतं चेरुर्
बालहत्या व्रतं चेरुर्
ब्राह्मणेर्यं निरूपितम्
ब्राह्मणैर्यन्निरूपितम्
यमुनायां महाराजा
यमुनायां महाराजा
स्मरन्त्यो द्विजभाषितम्
स्मरन्त्यो द्विजभाषितम्. After the relatives had discharged their duties by performing the proper funeral ceremonies and burning the dead child's body, they gave up the affection that leads to illusion, lamentation, fear, and pain. Such affection is undoubtedly difficult to give up, but they gave it up very easily. Queen Kritadyuti's co-wives, who had poisoned the child, were very much ashamed, and they lost all their bodily luster. While lamenting, O king, they remembered the instructions of Angira and gave up their ambition to bear children. Following the directions of the Brahmanas, they went to the bank of the Yamuna, where they bathed and atoned for their sinful activities.
After the relatives had removed the body of the son and performed a proper funeral ceremony, they gave up the affection that leads to illusion, lamentation, fear, and pain. Shoka moha bhayardidam, which is difficult to give up, especially when a loved one leaves their body. There are all kinds of emotions. There will be shoka, there will be moha, there will be bhaya. So to come out of that situation, it takes some time. So here they could come out very quickly. O king, Queen Duduti's co-wives, ashamed of killing the child, lost their bodily luster and, remembering the words of Angira, atoned for the killing of the child on the Yamuna river as directed by the Brahmanas. So When everyone understood that the other wives had killed the child, by seeing that they had become pale, the wives became ashamed and frankly admitted that they had killed the child. They then performed atonement as directed by the Brahmanas like Gira. When all these things are happening, when the child spoke something very philosophical, hearing those words, the other queens who actually plotted the killing of the child, they also kind of realized what kind of grave mistake they did. As a result of that, they kind of became lusterless, hopeless, and they themselves submitted that, please forgive us, we only made this mistake. And the sage might have said, okay, Balahatya, whatever atonement have to be done, will do. And the king gave up the desire to bear any more children. So till now, king had that utmost desire to have children more. No, king gave up the desire. No, enough is enough. Both हो गया. अभी कोई इच्छा नहीं. No need to beget any more children. Accept the reality of this material world and move on.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Amen.
Prabhuji, it is generally, means I have observed that when the small children die, their bodies are not burned, they are buried.
Mm.
Is there any specific thing, like, because here it is mentioned that they burn the body?
I don't know. In Sanskrit shloka, anything like that is mentioned. Burned or buried. कुछ नहीं. Final rites are performed. Nihruta jnatayo jnater deham kurtvochita kriya. See, final kriya has been done. Uchita kriya, whatever is suitable according to the situation. So yeah, yes, what you say is also right, because for married people they perform burning. For unmarried people they actually do burial. This is what my observation. Exact reason I don't know, because for burning there is a vidhi. So burning the dead body is also like yajna. Generally, any ritualistic activities alone cannot be performed. They should be performed together. Wife and husband together only should perform any Vedic rituals. So those who are married, for them the burning is done. For others who are single, so burying only is done. That's what I understood at least.
Yeah. And I have also seen, Prabhuji, means those who are of the marriageable age but still are not married, they die before that. Means before their final rites are performed, actually their marriage is done with, means if the girl is there, she's married with Krishna, and if the boy is there, they marry with whom I don't know. But that's what I have seen, means in some relatives.
Yeah, according to Varna system, they want to see person passing through all the ashramas properly. So something like that, at least brahmachari grahastha. I don't know. There are so many individual rules, different communities follow differently. So I don't know.
Okay, and Prabhuji, one more thing, like these queens, means they actually admitted their crime in front of others, as explicitly mentioned, right? In Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Padki commentary.
Ah, yes.
Okay.
Balahatya hataprabha, Balahatya vrutam cherur. So they accepted, because अभी तो हो गया ना, अभी इतना philosophy सुनने के बाद थोड़ा सा रहेगा ना.
Yeah. No, but it requires a lot of courage to admit it in front of others when so much havoc has been created due to their action.
Yes, actually in Kali Yuga, we don't want to admit because we want to get away things. But in the past, previous Yugas, people know. Even though they make mistake, they admit it. They don't hide it. And whatever corresponding punishment has to be taken, they will go through. Because in the previous ages, they were taught like that. But unfortunately in Kali Yuga, so we don't want.
Even the Lord, like Lord Balarama also, after killing Gomarsh and Sutta, Brahmanas told him to atone, even though he was the Lord.
Yes.
He did that to set the example for others.
Even Lord Rama also, after killing Ravana, he kind of performed ritual worshipping Lord Shiva, considering Ravana to be Brahmana.
Mm-hmm.
Because he is the son of a
What?
Brahmana, Vishrava.
Prabhuji, this demons being Brahmanas, how to understand this? Because
Because see, they are not Brahmanas, they should be considered as Brahma Bandhu. But in any case, because they are, since they are the sons of Brahmanas, so without leaving any this thing, whatever need to be done, they perform. They are Rakshasas, they are killed. They are Brahmana sons, so whatever ritual has to be performed, it is performed accordingly. So in that way, we have to see.
okay, because those who are devotees like Prahlad Maharaj, Vitrasura, that we can understand because they had become out and out devotees. They took birth in the demonic family. But for the Ravana, we don't know like that.
See, even though it is not required, the Lord himself is setting the example. Even Lord Narasimha also told Prahlad, please go and perform final rites for your father. While the condition said whatever may be, but one is a person, one need to go through samskaras properly, otherwise how will they be purified if their samskaras are not performed? At least for their betterment, one samskaras should be performed.
Okay. Thank you.
See, samskaras all meant for the purification of that particular jivana. Otherwise, if you don't perform, what happens? Something adogati will happen to that person only. To benefit that person only, all the samskaras are performed.
Yeah.
So why not?
Actually, Prabhuji, means that last time also we discussed, and I had this in mind that we discussed now, Prabhuji, that actually means that this child only he was when explaining all the philosophy that how means I was how the coin goes from one hand to another like that means I had so many fathers and mothers to whom do I owe whatever like that. So when we are saying that actually when the soul leaves the body, we don't have actually any relationship with the relatives like that. So when we say that we owe our means we have some certain responsibilities towards Pitrus and we should offer them Shraddha rites and all that. So in one sense we are saying that we end our relationship with them with the end of
No. It is not like that. From their point of view, they are done with this relationship. But from our point of view, we are still related to them through our body. As long as the body is there, that relationship exists. As long as they were in their body, they were interacting in the relationship. When they came out of the body, they have nothing to do with the relationship. But as long as we are in this body, we still have the relationship. When we die, then we will give up that relationship.
But if they are accepting our Shraddha rights, whatever we are giving, and we are saying that they are getting benefited by that also, that means they are having some relationship with us, and they are accepting whatever means because of our actions.
Okay, forget it. In this life, you perform some punya, okay, and we die,
Okay.
and next birth we take. Do we get the results of that punya in the next life?
Yeah.
Our next birth itself will be part of that results of that punya. Why we should take? We have performed piety in this body, and वो तो हो गया. अब next time we should not take it. उसको छोड़ देने का. Then what to speak of that? Even we are practicing bhakti. After giving this with this body, we are practicing bhakti. After giving up this body, so we have nothing to do with this body. So we should not take the results of bhakti that we practice with this body.
It's Sukruti is earned by the soul, not by the body.
No, you are able to earn that because you have body. Body के बिना क्या क्या करेंगे? You don't have a body. Will you earn Sukriti?
Body is used as the instrument by soul to
हाँ,
earn that.
वही है instrument से मिल रहा है. See, there is a subtle when you see philosophy is the mentality part, our convictions, and the results are action related. That means when the child is telling that I have no relationship, in the sense my connection to this particular environment is only up to the point of death. Afterwards, I have to continue on my journey. But while I was in this time in this place, I have performed some piety or impiety, whatever it is. So uska results will come along with me. What my children do Shraddha rites for me is simply an effect of how I took care of them. Because I have taken care of them very nicely. वो उसका फल है वो. One is destined to get it, and children are doing it is like a by the way it happens. It's a by the way activity. It is not because the children are doing that's why that this is father getting benefited. No, the father took care of the child so nicely. He is destined to get the results, and the via medium for the results is the son. Like that we should see.
Okay.
Even though son does not do, also father will get the results because he has done his duty so perfectly. So he is destined to get it. If son does the rituals properly, son also gets benefit by that. So like that we should see. That doesn't mean that is not an excuse that we don't have to perform.
No, not excuse, but I was trying to
I mean,
understand.
one may say that वैसे relationship है ही नहीं तो क्यों perform करने का? So he is saying I don't have any relationship. Then I will also say I don't have any relationship. So it can lead to that point. Not you, but just philosophically one may take it. वो ऐसा बोल रही है ऐसे कैसे? तो वही गौरव प्रभु बोलते हैं अभी आत्मा never kills and never dies. भगवद गीता में श्लोक है ना ना अन्यते अन्यमाने शरीरा. So person kills 10 people and goes to judge and says Atma does not kill anybody. So I have not killed anybody. Philosophy says Atma does not kill. But practically कुछ ने मारता किया 10 लोगों को. अभी जज को बताओ जज क्या क्या देने का क्या जजमेंट देने का. Judge should hear the philosophy or should see the practical things.
Yeah.
Philosophy should mold our intentions. Philosophy you should not equate with the action. Action के लिए there is a result. But philosophy will give us the determination and enunciation. Based on that, we perform action, and action will give us the corresponding result. That's why, na Bhagavad Gita chapter 17, Yajna Dana Tapa. It is action. If you perform action, you will get the result. But in which mode you perform the same action, the result will vary accordingly. By doing dana, one is entitled to get returns. If you do dana, you are supposed to get in return maybe 10 times. But if you do dana in mode of goodness, you will get 10 times returns in Swargaloka. If you do same dana in the mode of passion, you will get 10 times returns in human loka. If you do same dana in the mode of ignorance, you will get 10 times returns in asura loka. Returns are coming, but where? It varies according to our intentions. And that intentions are formed because of one's philosophy. The person who is philosophically strong will do dana in goodness. One who is not so strong will do in passion. One who is against to philosophy will do in ignorance. Like that. Action is same, giving charity only. But वो intention change होता है because of philosophy.
Okay. So just because you said this, like somebody does charity in mode of passion, that means that he's destined to take birth again in the Martya Loka and means on that pious credits. Like that, it should be understood. Or somebody does in mode of ignorance.
Wait. It is not because I did it. He is doing it in that mode because he is very much attached to current circumstances. Those who are attached to current circumstances will do charity in the mode of passion. And they will continue the same circumstance only.
Okay.
Obviously, now for some people who want to get great name and fame among the human society. So they will do charities and they will tell, okay, मेरा नाम लिखो इधर, मेरा नाम लिखो, लिखो. They will continue in the human society only. But they want to be like a human. They want to be glorified among the humans. तो उनका इच्छा इतना प्रबल है, इसलिए चैरिटी दे रहे हैं ना.
Right. So difficult, Prabhuji. Our every action should be so very meticulously performed. Means if one really desires to go back to Godhead. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji.
That's why if one wants to go to Sargaloka, they will do Gupta Dhan. One wants to stay here, they will do Dhan with pampas. And one want to go to spiritual world, they will do Dhan only for Vaishnava community. In the sense, the activities, every activity connected to Lord Vishnu worship. In that sense.
Prabhuji, if somebody gives dana because someone gets that income tax benefit or something, that is also considered as a dana in mode of passion.
No, it is not like that. Intention देखो, उनका intention आपको कैसे पता चलेगा? ओके, कौन सा intention दे रहे हैं? टैक्स बचाने के लिए, नाम लाने के लिए, यार किसके लिए दे रहे हैं? वो intention के ऊपर रहता है मोड. तो इसलिए वो पता चलना थोड़ा मुश्किल है, उतना इजी नहीं होता है. इसलिए लॉर्ड कृष्ण से ना अकर्म कर्म विकर्म क्या 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 ये जानना थोड़ा मुश्किल है. ओके, विल गो अहेड. साहित्यम. हाँ माताजी.
One doubt for me. But Prabhuji, I will know the intent of the person, na? Whether the world knows or not.
हाँ, Paramatma knows and Devatas know. The 13 Devatas we saw na Ajamila past time. Whatever we do, there are 13 witnesses for every activity that we do. They know.
Okay. Correct.
We may not know, the neighbors may not know, but Devatas know, Paramatma knows. Accordingly, we'll get the result. They will put us in the similar circumstances. See, so basically, I'm trying to correlate the intention which we develop, which comes due to philosophical understanding, and action is action. So action will have corresponding reaction, but with what intention we perform that action will give us the corresponding result. Yajna, Dana, Tapa is action. Ultimately, whatever activity that we do, we can subgroup them in one of these three activities: Yajna, Dana, Tapa. So these three activities can be performed in 4 modes: mode of ignorance, mode of passion, mode of goodness, and mode of pure goodness. So in whichever mode we perform, we get the results accordingly. I just gave an example of Dana. If we do Dana in the mode of ignorance, we become Asuras. We take birth among the Asuras and we get a lot of opulences. Because we gave Dana, we get return. Return is opulence, but the mode is ignorance, so we become Asura. Or Asuric Parivar, wherever. And if we are in the mode of passion, so we want to be glorified among human society, and next birth we'll get in aristocratic family and people glorify. जितना हो सकता है उतना माने ये तो glorify करेंगे लोग. If somebody does charity in the mode of goodness, they'll go to heavenly planets, they'll get opulences there. And somebody does charity, Yajna, Dana, Tapa in pure goodness with the intention of serving the Lord, and they will get the opportunity to serve the Lord. So like that we have to understand. Action is same, everyone is doing Yajna, Dana, Tapa only, but intention will determine the corresponding result. Even in the result also, Dan ke liye equal result is opulence. Opulence is there, but where one gets opulence, that matters. That depends on one's intention. So it's like that. Saitam prati buddhatma.
Saitam prati bhutatma.
Chitraketurudvijoktibihi.
Chitraketurudvijoktibihi.
Gruhandakupan nishkrantaha.
Gruhandakupan nishkranta.
Shara pankad ivadvipaha.
Sara pankajiva diva. Thus enlightened by the instructions of the Brahmana Angira and Narada, King Chitraketu became fully aware of spiritual knowledge. As an elephant becomes free from a muddy reservoir of water, King Chitraketu came out of the dark well of family life.
Thus, enlightened by the instructions of the Brahmanas, Angira and Narada, King Chitraketu emerged from the dark well of family life, just as an elephant emerges from the mud. So here, it is not that the family life itself is like that, but taking the reference of how the co-wives responded for the king showing so much affection to the child, so much affection to the wife. From that particular act of the co-wives. So from that point of view, we can take this. He emerged from the dark well of family life, where a lot of politics, a lot of vengeance is there, like just as an elephant emerging from the mud. So in that way, Matlib, Priyavrat Maharaj, not King Chitraketu Maharaj, gave up all his attraction towards household activities. Previously, was so much attached to getting new marriage and trying to beget children, etc., because he was so attached to have a son. But now, after seeing all these things, how it happened, so he said, enough is enough. So in that way. Kalindyam vidivasnatva
Kalindyam vidivat snatva
kuta punya jalakriyaha
krita punya jalakriya
maunena samyata prano
maunena samyata prano
brahmaputrau avandata.
Brahmaputra avandata. The king bathed in the water of the Yamuna, and according to the prescribed duties, he offered oblations of water to the forefathers and demigods. Very gravely controlling his senses and mind, he then offered his respects and obeisances to the sons of Lord Brahma, Angira and Narada.
So whatever final rites have to be performed, they all performed. Antyeshti ceremony is all over. And at the conclusion, one has to take bath. Like for example, when we burn some of our deceased parents, we take their ashes and immerse in Ganga or Yamuna. That is like last activity. That is what here he is doing. After bathing in the Yamuna, according to the rules, and offering oblations of water, controlling his senses and mind, the king then offered his respects to Angira and Narada. That means he performed the final rites, he took the final bath, and internally he was completely detached. Just like Parikshit Maharaj, when he heard from Gauramukha that Gauramukha's spiritual master Shamika Rishi had informed and sent a message through Gauramukha to the king that, my dear king, I'm sorry, my son as an immature son, he had cursed for no reason to die within 7 days by the bite of a snake. So may you prepare. I tried by all means to nullify that, but I have no means to nullify it. Brahmashapa will not go in vain. So better you prepare for your impending death. So as soon as Parikshit Maharaj heard it, he mentally prepared. Yes, I'm done. I'm ready. So he made his son the next king and he went to Ganga. He went to the bank of Ganga. He took the bath in Ganga and he sat to perform Prayopavesha, fast until death. Then all the great sages came, he welcomed them, he requested them to speak some meaningful words by which he can attain the ultimate destination. So like that. So that means internally he has given up everything. So in that context, Bhagavatam says, Atmajaya Sutagara Pashodavna Bandhushu Rajye Cha Vikale Nityam Virudam Mamatam Jaho. For a person in this world, there are 8 things that bind us. Very difficult to uproot. But Parikshit Maharaj, having taken bath in Ganga, having determined to perform Prayopavesha, fast until death, he had given up any small trace of attachment he had for these 8 things. Atma means to one's own body. because body के लिए हम हर दिन खाते रहते हैं ना, सुबह दोपहर शाम को. So he has given up that attachment to the body. So he is going to fast for the next 7 days. Atma, Jaya to the wife, Suta to the children, Agara to the home, Pashu to the vehicles, animals, especially in the kingly times, they have a lot of animals, horses, cows, elephants, and because all these are used for their warfare and other things. Pashu, Dravina, the Koshagar, wealth in the Koshagar, Bandushu, friends and relatives, Raja, the entire kingdom. He has given up all his responsibilities and attachment to all these things. And he's sitting as no one. And giving up these things are very difficult, just like uprooting a plant is very difficult. It is very difficult, but Parikshit Maharaj did it because of his conviction and determination. Same thing, Chitraketu Maharaj also gave up attachment to family, kingdom, children, wife, etc. etc. And now he is sitting at the lotus feet of Angira and Narada. He is saying that, my dear sir, now I am ready to hear you, whatever you say. Please teach me. So like that. So now Narada Muni will give him initiation and also will give him some spiritual instructions, what to do and how to do, etc. Let us see. Atha tasmai prapannaya
अथ तस्मै प्रपन्नाय
bhaktaya parayatmane
भक्ताय प्रयतात्मने
Bhagavan Narada Prito
भगवान् नारद प्रीतो
Vidyam Etam Uvachaha.
विद्याम् एताम् उवाचः. Thereafter, being very much pleased with Chitraketu, who was a self-controlled devotee and surrendered soul, Narad, the most powerful sage, spoke to him the following transcendental instructions.
Yeah. So as Chitraketu Maharaj sat at the feet of Narada and Angira Rishi, and they began to speak some special instructions. And now this was the mantra which I told that Narada Muni received from the Bhakti Vedantas in the first canto. He received the Chaturyuha mantra. The same Chaturyuha mantra now Narada Muni is going to give our Chitraketu Maharaj. Previously, he gave the same mantra to Prachina Barhi also. Prachina Barhi was also given the same mantra, Chaturyuha mantra. This is a special mantra, powerful mantra. In 7 days, one gets the result. Like nowadays, they say, na, in 7 days, in 30 days, in this day. But this is one real thing. Om Namastubhyam Bhagavate
Om Namo Namastubhyam Bhagavate
Vasudevaya Dhimahi
Vasudevaya Dhimahi
Pradyumnaya Niruddhaya
Pradyumna Niruddhaya
Namah Sankarshanaya Cha
Nama Sankarshanaya Cha
Namo Vijnana Matraya
Namo Vijnana Matraya
Paramananda Murtaye
Paramananda Murtaye
Atma Ramaya Shantaya
Atma Ramaya Shantaya
Nivritta Dvaita Drishtaye.
Nivritta Daita Drishtaye. Narada gave Chitraketu the following mantra: O Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, who are addressed by the Omkara Pranava, I offer my respectful obeisance unto you. O Lord Vasudeva, I meditate upon you. O Lord Pradyumna, Lord Aniruddha, and Lord Sankarsana, I offer you my respectful obeisances. O reservoir of spiritual potency, O supreme bliss, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, who are self-sufficient and most peaceful. O ultimate truth, one without a second, you are realized as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan, and are therefore the reservoir of all knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisance unto you.
Here the meaning of this mantra is, we offer respectable obeisance unto Lord Vasudeva, Lord Pradyumna, Lord Aniruddha, and Lord Sankarsana. Just like we say Hare Krishna, that means we are offering obeisances to Srimati Radharani and Lord Krishna. Om Namo Narayanaya, we offer obeisances to Lord Narayana. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, we offer our obeisances to the personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. Same thing. This mantra contains the Chitragyuha name. Om Namastubhyam Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhimahi Pradyumnaya Niruddhaya Namasankarshanaaya Cha. To the Lord who is endowed with Shakti, Vijnana Matraya, who has a form of highest bliss, Paramananda Murtaye, who delights in himself, Atma Ramaya, who is full of peace, Shantaya, and who is not attached to material world, Nivritta Dvaita Drishtaye. This material world is known as Dvaita Drishti. That means this world is full of dualities. Dvaita means Dvandva. So Nivritta, the one who has given up looking at the dual material world. So in that way, we offer respects to you. We meditate on you. Dhimahi. This is like Gayatri Mantra. Dhimahi. Satyam Satyam Param Dhimahi. We meditate on you to please you. We are not meditating on you to get something from you. Instead, we meditate on you just to please you. So 9 words are used to distinguish the Supreme Lord from the Jiva. So on whom one is meditating? One is meditating on the Supreme Lord who is known as Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna and Ruddha. Why one is meditating on him? Because he possesses 9 wonderful qualities which are not there in Jiva. Jiva cannot possess these 9 qualities. Out of the 9 qualities, the verse 19 talks about 5 qualities and verse 20 talks about 4 qualities. So what are the 5 qualities that are taught in the text number 19? So here, Namo Vijnana Murtaye, Paramananda Murtaye, Sarvijnana Matraya, Paramananda Murtaye, Atma Ramaya, Shantaya, Nivrutta Dvaita Drishtaye. These are the 5 attributes of the Supreme Lord. First one is Vijnana Matraya. Vijnana Matraya refers to the Lord who is covered with pure Shakti, whereas the Jiva is covered with ignorance. The Lord is full of knowledge, Sachitananda Swarupa, and we are no knowledge about ourselves, no knowledge about Paramatma. We have full knowledge about I am Pandu, I am Pavaneshwar Das, I am this, I am that. This knowledge we have. We have the knowledge in relation to the body and mind, but we don't have the knowledge in relation to Atma. According to Medini, Matra can mean an ear ornament, wealth, a measure, and a covering. So, Vijnana Matraya means the Lord is completely covered with the realization, and we are covered with Avidya Matraya. We are completely covered with Avidya. So in that way, we can see the comparison between us and the Supreme Lord. Second one, Paramananda Murtaye. The Lord has a form of the highest bliss, but the Jiva has a form of 5 material elements. Our body has been made up of earth, water, fire, ether, but the Lord's body is made up of Satchit Ananda Swarupa. Lord's form is Ananda Swarupa, and normal Ananda nahi, Paramananda Swarupa. Full Ananda. That is the distinction between us and the Supreme Lord. And the Lord enjoys his own bliss, but the Jiva enjoys the bliss of material sense objects. The Lord is called Atma Rama. He enjoys within himself. For us, if we have to say enjoyment, especially nowadays, Amras. The people need Amras. Those who say, today I drank 4 glasses of Amras. I ate 4 6 10 So we need some external object for our enjoyment. But for Lord, he does not need anything from outside. He enjoys within himself. So like that. The fourth one is Shantaya. The Lord always in full of peace, unlike the Jiva who is constantly in anxiety. Our situation like we are constantly in anxiety. Sometimes this problem, sometimes that problem, sometimes some other problem. Always going after here and there, conflicts with different people, fighting this, that, feeling bad, feeling good. So many things are going on. But Lord is always in full peace. He is completely Shanta. And finally, the fifth one is the Lord is not attached to the material world, whereas the Jiva is completely attached to the material world. We are fully attached, but the Lord is not like that. Lord is completely detached from this material world. Even though he comes and performs pastimes, still he remains indifferent to the material world. Is Supreme Lord. So these are the contrast between the Supreme Lord and us, and because of this contrast, these qualities make him what he is. Because we don't have all these things, and that makes us what we are. Like that. The next verse talks about the 4 more additional attributes of the Supreme Lord.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji,
Hare.
here the Sankarshan is mentioned, that is the Chaturvya. So, like means in case of Vritrasura, when we saw that Vritrasura left the body and he went back to Sankarshana, like that it is mentioned. So, that Sankarshana is this Chaturvya Sankarshana, like that.
Yes,
Because
yes, Chaturvya
I
Sankarshana only.
went to Balaramji, like that.
Not Balramji. Vaikuntha Sankarshana only.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Atmanandanubhutyaiva
Atmanandanubhutyaiva
Nyasya Shaktyurmaye Namaha
Nyasta Shaktyurmaye Namah
Rishikeshaya Mahate
Rishikeshaya Mahate
Namaste Nantamurtaye.
Namaste Nantamurtaye. Perceiving your personal bliss, you are always transcendental to the waves of material nature. Therefore, my Lord, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. You are the supreme controller of the senses, and your expansions of form are unlimited. You are the greatest, and therefore I offer my respectful obeisances unto you.
We offer respects to you, who are divide of the waves of Maya, since you enjoy in yourself. Atmanandanubhutyaiva Nasta Shakti Urme Namaha. Because for Lord, Maya does not act upon him. For us, we need an object which is produced by Maya for getting Ananda. But for Lord, he can be in Ananda within himself and he does not need any help of Maya. So he is not at all touched by Maya, he is not at all affected by Maya in that sense. To you, who control all the senses, Rishikeshaya, to you, the greatest being, Mahate, having an indestructible form, Ananta Murtaye. Sixth one is, you have completely thrown off the waves of Maya in the form of attachment and hatred, for you are self-satisfied. The Jiva, however, is in the midst of the waves of attraction and hatred. Icha Dvesha Samustena Dvanda Mohena Bharata. Lord Krishna says in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. All of us are bound by Icha and Dvesha. The dualities, the principal dualities are Icha and Dvesha. We are bound in this material world. Only those people who are freed from Icha Dvesha, they can be qualified to go back to Godhead. And in Lord, there are no Icha Dvesha. Seventh one is, you are the controller of all senses, but the Jiva is controlled by one's senses. Obviously, the Lord is the master of the senses, but we are controlled by the senses. You are great, but the Jiva is small. Vibhu and Anu. You have forms which are indestructible, but the Jiva has destructible bodies. Our bodies are destructible. But as Arjuna says, Lord Krishna's universe form is spread in all directions. Who can destroy that when it is spread in all directions? In that way. So these are the 9 special attributes, having which the Lord is known as the Lord. And by not having them, we are known as a Jiva. That is very simple. And whatever we may do, we may not get these 9 characteristics in full. So that in that way, Jiva eternally remains Jiva, the Lord eternally remains the Supreme Lord. That way we can establish. So then, after teaching the mantra with the attributes of the Supreme Lord, the first verse is mantra, 18th verse is mantra, and the 19th and 20th verse talks about the attributes of the Lord who was described in the mantra. And then he further states few more things. Vachasi uparate prapya
Vachasi uparate prapya
Yayeko manasa saha
Yayeko manasa saha
Anama rupaschin matraha
Anamarupaschinmatraha
Sovyanah Sad Asat
Sovyanah Sad Asat Paraha. The words and mind of the conditioned soul cannot approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for material names and forms are not applicable to the Lord, who is entirely spiritual beyond the conception of gross and subtle forms. The impersonal Brahman is another of his forms. May he, by his pleasure, protect us.
May the Lord, who is one entity with no form, who is pure consciousness, who is the cause of the material world and unapproachable by words and mind, may protect us. Here, the impersonal aspect of the absolute truth has been indicated and glorified. So previously, the attributes of the Chaturvyuha are explained. Now, another manifestation of Supreme Lord as Brahman are explained in this verse. In this verse, Narada offers respect to the impersonal feature of the Supreme Lord. Vachasi uparate aprapya yayeko manasa saha. With our words and with our mind, we cannot describe or attain the realization of Brahman, because the Brahman is Anama Arupa. It has no name, it has no Rupa. It is simply Chinmatra and is Avyaya. Avyan, it is Avyanna Sat Asat Param. It is situated beyond Sat and Asat, cause and effect. So, in that way, these are different attributes of Brahman. And then, few more attributes of that Brahman are further explained in the 22nd verse. So, one may think that why Narada Muni is talking about Brahman? What is this? So, Narada Muni is talking also about Brahman to indicate that Bhagavan who was described in the previous verses and the Brahman which is in the current verses are non-different. Though people might talk about Brahman. Okay, this Brahman and that Bhagavan both are same only. Just like Brahman has so many attributes, Bhagavan also has so many attributes. So unto that person one should be surrendered to and one obtain him. So in that way we have to see. Yasmin idam yataschedam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, sorry to interrupt. Prabhuji, when you say Brahman, you mean the effulgence of the Supreme Lord, no?
See, that is how you generally hear. It is not exactly the effulgence of Supreme Lord. In one sense, it is effulgence. See, I gave you this example some time back also many times. Currently, now is summer. So now, in the summer, you can see the clouds here and there. Very beautifully looking small size clouds. And they are compared to Bhagavan. Bhagavan means Bhagavan will have a particular form with 4 arms, Mukut, Shankachakra Gada, Padma, Vaijayanti Mala, lotus garland, flower garland. Everything has been paka, just like the summer clouds. And then after summer, we get rainy season. At the beginning of the rainy season, we say that today is fully cloudy. So what do you mean by cloudy? The clouds are in all directions. Wherever you see this cloud is there. So the previously the limited form of cloud, now it has assumed unlimited form of cloud. It has become unlimited, immeasurable. Everywhere it is there. That is Brahman. Brahman means everywhere, all pervading. You cannot limit him to some particular thing. And since it is completely dark, you cannot describe its attributes, its qualities and characteristics. In summer cloud, you can say, okay, this part of the cloud is white, this part of the cloud is gray cloud, this part of the cloud is white, this is reddish, this is bluish. There are so many shades are there for summer cloud. But rainy cloud, no shades, only black. And black ko kya varna karenge? So that is Brahman. And once the rain is over, there will be no cloud seen. Whatever the cloud water is there, half of the water comes to earth and other some portion of the water will remain in the ether like moisture. So now it is small particles of water are spread everywhere but small. That is Paramatma aspect. Andantarastha Paramanucha Antarastham. It is also cloud, but the cloud is completely disintegrated. It is situated as a minute particles everywhere. That is Paramatma. So from that point of view, understand what is Brahman, what is Bhagavan, what is Paramatma.
But this verse says that the Lord is one entity who has no form. Then how can he have consciousness and how can he be the cause of the material world?
No, that's what I'm saying, na. Can you tell the measurements of the rainy season cloud?
No, but why
Barish,
do you describe him as pure consciousness?
the Lord is Chinmaya, na. The Lord is always Sachidananda Swarupa. Whether
Here,
whether he may appear to you limited, he may appear to you a big one, but he is always.
yes,
Say
no
the
form,
summer
no.
one is
If he
also
has
cloud. No, wait.
उसका कोई
Just
form ही नहीं है उसको किधर से consciousness? How will he have consciousness?
फॉर्म ही नहीं मतलब अरूपा से अरूपा बोल रहे हैं तो फॉर्म नहीं means the words which you are familiar with cannot describe his form. See,
Okay,
see, like small kids are there. They only learned few things. They have not learned so many things. Suddenly, you put something in front of their eyes about which they don't have any knowledge. If you tell them to describe what it is, what they will speak?
you speak something about only what they know.
Not what they know. It is about some object which you keep in front of them. About that object, what will they speak?
They will not speak anything. They will be silent.
First of all, they will not speak anything. Till further, you pester them. Please speak. You explain it. Then they say that, okay, its right hand side looks like an elephant. Its like left hand side looks like a donkey. Its back side looks like a horse. So what they know with that they compare. Something like that. What it is they don't know, but they already have some idea about something, and उससे compare करके बोलने का प्रयास करते हैं. But if something like a rainy season cloud, which you can't describe anything, the summer cloud at least you can describe gray color, white color, you know all these things. तो उसे compare करके आप बताएंगे. But rainy cloud is everywhere. It is simply dark. Dark के बारे में क्या बताएंगे? कुछ बताने के लिए है नहीं. Like that. But its natural existence is Chinmaya. So that cannot be, whether it is full or limited, it will be Chinmaya only. It always remains Chinmaya. You are not even Chinmaya, it is Chinmatra. It is Chinmatra means it is completely full of knowledge.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
One second, Mataji. See, for more details, you please read second canto, chapter number 7, one of the last verses, which talks about the full detailed explanation about what is Brahman, what is Paramatma. There is 2 verses together. I don't remember exactly verse number, but one of the last verses, maybe 40, 41, 42, 43, वो range में आते हैं. There you will get complete details discussion of this Brahman aspect. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Sometimes in Bhagavatam we see this word Brahman. It has many other meanings also. You have to take the meanings according to the context. Like Brahman sometimes means the abode of the Lord. Sometimes it means the Lord himself. Sometimes it means knowledge also, Brahma. So we have to see according to the context.
Yes. According to the context, yes, we have to see. Yasmin idam yataschedam.
Yasmin idam yataschedam.
Tishtati apyeti jayate.
Tishtatyapyeti jayate.
Mrunmayesh iva mujjates.
Mrunmayeshviva mrujyatis.
Tasmai te brahmane namaha.
Tasmai te brahmane namaha. As spots made completely of earth are situated on earth after being created and are transformed into earth again, when broken, this cosmic manifestation is caused by Supreme Brahman. situated in the Supreme Brahman and annihilated in the same Supreme Brahman. Therefore, since Supreme Lord is the cause of Brahman, let us offer him our respectful obeisance. Hare Krishna.
And this point also we discussed many times in the second and third cantos. It is Mahavishnu whom we devotees consider as Bhagavan. It is the same Mahavishnu whom the yogis consider as Paramatma. Because Mahavishnu's expansion is Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Garbhodakshaya Vishnu's expansion is Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. Kshirodakshaya Vishnu expansion is Paramatma, Antaryami. So in that way, they treat Mahavishnu as the original Paramatma. And similarly, it is the Mahavishnu whom the Jnanis treat him as Brahman. Because Mahavishnu is Chaturbhuja Narayana in Bhagavan aspect. Mahavishnu is Paramatma from the yogi's point of view. And Mahavishnu himself is Brahman from Jnani's point of view. That same Mahavishnu will become unlimitedly formless, nameless entity as Brahman. So from Bhagavatam we see that from Mahavishnu skin pores comes Prakriti, and Mahavishnu glances upon Prakriti and then impregnates her with Jivas, and then from that produces 24 elements, and then universe are formed, etc. Because we being devotees, we are telling that everything is happening because of Mahavishnu. Now there is no distinction between the Mahavishnu and Brahman. So then we should say that it is Brahman from whom comes Prakriti. It is Brahman who, looking at Prakriti, impregnates Prakriti with the Jivas. It is by Brahman's glance, Prakriti gives rise to Mahatattva, Hankara, Man, Buddhi, Jnanendriya, Karmendriya, Pancha Mahabhuta, Tanmatras, etc. Then who is creating now? Who is the creator of the unlimited number of universes? Brahman.
Mahavishnu.
See, we devotees say Mahavishnu, but others will say Brahman. Therefore, we offer respects to Brahman from whom the universe arises, in whom it remains, and into whom it dissolves, just as earth is the cause of clay pots. So we say, na, from Mahavishnu universe are come, it is Mahavishnu who maintains all the universes, and after Brahma's 100 years, all the universe again enter into Mahavishnu. Same thing, you will replace Mahavishnu with Brahman. It is Brahman from whom the material universe are created. It is Brahman who maintains the universes. It is Brahman into whom the universes enter after 100 years of Lord Brahma's lifespan. So like that.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, one difficulty, this material cause and efficient cause, if you explain it in context with this pots and the pot maker, so material cause will be the mud.
Yes.
And the efficient cause will be the potter.
Yeah, pot maker.
Pot maker, okay. Yes, just wanted to clarify.
So,
thank you.
In our normal visibility, we see both of them are separate. Because the pot maker goes to some pond and gets the mud, and he prepares the matka, utilizing his own intellectual abilities, etc. etc. So here, pot maker is different and mud is different. Both are like two separate entities.
Yes.
But in the case of the Lord, it is from the Lord only comes Prakriti, and the Prakriti produces 24 elements.
So the efficient cause is the Lord then?
The material cause is also Lord, and efficient cause is also Lord. Okay. Of course, Lord is always efficient cause, but in the case of the Lord, Lord is also material cause.
Okay.
In the case of the parts, the potter is efficient cause, the material cause is the lake from where we get the mud. The mud in the lake is the material cause.
Yes.
But in the case of the universe, even that 24 elements which are coming from Prakriti, and the Prakriti herself are coming from the Mahavishnu only. So Mahavishnu himself is the efficient cause and the material cause.
Okay.
And for devotees, we are calling him as Mahavishnu. For Jnanis, call him as Brahman.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, that means this verse has been said from the perspective of Jnanis, because it is all Brahman that they are saying.
See, Narada Muni is giving a whole picture. In the society, some people might say Brahman, Brahman, Brahman. Yes, Brahman. and others will say Bhagavan. Yes, Bhagavan. So Narada Muni does not giving a distinction. He's telling that yes, it's okay. You whether you may call him as Brahman, whether you may call him as Bhagavan. It is he who is doing all these things. In both the ways, this mantra works and it will give you the result, whatever you want.
Okay.
In whichever way you see him. For example, a child is there in the school, he will be called with one name, maybe some name we can say like Dharmaraj. School, everyone calls him Dharmaraj. But जब घर में आएगा तो everyone calls him Raj only. Are both people are different or same?
Yeah, same.
Same only. The same way.
Okay. Thank you.
Prabhuji, but
Yeah.
why? Sorry, Prabhuji, but why this differentiation is there between Brahman and Bhagavan?
Obviously, na, why you want everything to be one? Lord wants variegatedness.
It is confusing, you know, if you given
Not
Brahman is
confusing.
without
Not
form and God
confusing.
is with form.
See, it is the beauty of Vedic culture. It is not at all confusing. Beauty of Vedic culture. That means there could be some variety in the processes that people practice, but ultimately the destiny is one absolute truth in variegated manifestations. So in that way, because so we may say that why not Narada Muni just tell about bhakti only, let everyone be bhaktas, but that is not possible. People want variety, so the Lord facilitates that variety. Even in the absolute truth also there is variety. There is Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan aspect. Even in that destiny also there is Sahajya Mukti, Sarishti Mukti, Sarupya Mukti, Salokya, Samipya. There is always variegatedness. The variety is there from the absolute truth onwards. So we cannot deny that variety and make everything as one. That is not proper. So in one sense we can say Narada Muni is giving a universal mantra, common for Nishkama Karma Yogis, Jnanis, Ashtanga Yogis and Bhaktas. Everyone can follow this mantra and attain the highest destiny according to your desire. So in the highest destiny there is variegatedness. Among the variegatedness, whichever you want to take it, you will get it. You want Shantarasa, you will get Dasya, Sakya, Vasalya, Madhurya. These rasas you want in Vaikuntha, you will get it. You want somewhere else, you get it. You want Brahman, you will get it. So a universal mantra is given. See it like that. And we say, na, Hare Krishna mantra is Maha Mantra. It includes all the other mantras. And somebody else may say, why Hare Krishna mantra? We have already have Namo Narayana, we have this Sri Krishna Sharanamama mantra. Why some new mantra you are telling? Why don't you take this mantra only? Take everywhere like this one mantra. It is like that. There is variegatedness.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
But you got Roji, why it is? Yes. Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by giving Hare Krishna mantra, he included all other mantras within it. Same way Narada Muni also, by giving this Chaturvyuha mantra, is including all the processes. Nishkama Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. Whichever may be your process, you chant this mantra. This is like Maha Mantra. So like that. And we say that the Supreme Absolute Truth is Radha Krishna. And somebody else will say that the Supreme Absolute Truth is Sitaram. Somebody else will say Lakshmi Narayana. It's okay, whoever it may be. You chant this mantra, whomsoever you want, you will get it. So like that. So there is some kind something universal principle. Okay, Prabhuji. Maybe this point
Yes.
seems to be a little confusing, but here basically So Narada Muni is teaching Aishwarya Bhakti to our King Chitraketu or anyone who are aspiring for the similar thing. So this mantra consisting of Chaturvyuha, so one can attain this Chaturvyuha in different aspects, either Bhagavan aspect or Paramatma aspect or Brahman aspect or whichever aspect, in whichever rasa, Shanta, Dasya, Vatsarya, Madhurya, etc. etc.
Guruji, sorry, but this mantra is specific. No, if somebody wants to go to Brahman, he will go to Brahman. If somebody wants to go to Ayodhya or Goloko, he will go over there. How will one
Ah,
mantra work for each and every destination?
okay. Now,
Sorry, Prabhuji, I mean, let us
no.
continue.
So, understood. Now I'll give you same example. Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which is given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Goswamis and other Sampradaya Acharyas. So with what intention? Okay, just by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, where one will go?
Ideally, one should go to Golok Vrindavan.
No. When one chants Hare Krishna Mahamantra with a desire to go to Golok Vrindavan, they will go to Golok Vrindavan. The desire also
But
plays a
how
role.
can somebody chanting Hare Krishna go to Vaikuntha where Lakshmi Narayan is worshipped, not to Ayodhya where
Ah,
Sitaram is worshipped?
wait. If somebody chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra with a strong desire to go to Vaikuntha, one will go to Vaikuntha also.
Okay, I was not aware of that.
See, the thing is that from Lord's point of view, Lord is one absolute truth. But Lord manifests variety in order to facilitate the need of the devotee. If the devotee want to serve, for example, even in our case also, some devotees might want to serve Lord Krishna like Prajavasis. Some devotees might want to serve Lord Krishna like Dwarakavasis. Is there a distinction between both of them or not?
Yes.
Lord is Lord Krishna only, but within Lord Krishna only there is variegatedness. There is Vrajabhav, there is Dwaraka Bhav. Now tell me, by chanting Hare Krishna mantra, where one will go? Dwaraka or Madhura? Dwaraka or Vrindavan?
It will depend upon the desire of the devotee.
Ah, that's what I am saying. You are chanting Hare Krishna only, and but you are going to Dwaraka also, Madhura also, and Vrindavan also. Same way, even by chanting Hare Krishna mantra, if one wants to go to Vaikuntha, one can go.
Okay, Prabhuji, understood.
See, I mean to say, no need to get into so many specific details, but Hare Krishna mantra can take one to Vaikuntha or not. If he is taking one to Golok Vrindavan, can't it take to Vaikuntha easily?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So in that way we should. So from this Chaturvyuha mantra point of view, if Chaturvyuha mantra can offer one Bhagavan, can't it offer Brahman? If somebody has a desire to attain Brahman,
Yes, Prabhuji.
like that you should understand.
It can
See,
even it can even offer Golok, this Chaturvyuha mantra.
no. Here we are talking about Aishwarya Bhakti. It may not offer Goloka because Goloka, the mood is entirely different. Unless until
Okay.
one wants to. Or one other thing, it can facilitate one to attain Golok Vrindavan in the sense that but one is chanting this Chaturvyuha mantra and with a strong desire to go to Golok Vrindavan. So, because this mantra is directly connected to Aishwarya Bhav. Even if one goes to Golok Vrindavan, one will have only Aishwarya Bhav only. One cannot develop that Madhurya Bhav.
Okay.
So, in that.
Thank you.
That mood is restricted in that sense. So, one sense, from hierarchy point of view, I mean, there could be some limitation. The mantra which is connected to Vaikuntha may not take one to Goloka. That way we can put some limitations. But from Vaikuntha point of view, Brahman is one step below. So Brahman can be offered easily. Like that. We offer respects to the Lord at the cause of the universe. The universe resides in the Lord, arises from him, and dissolves into him, just as earth is the cause of the clay pots. Of course, see, this point you just no need to worry about, no need to meditate upon that. It's fine. Here we are talking about this Chitraketu Maharaj, for whom Narada Muni is giving a mantra so that he will have darshan and future association of Lord Sankarsana, the Lord of Vaikuntha. The Chaturvis, second quadruple, are the Lord of Vaikuntha, and from that point of view, Brahman is one step lower, so Brahman also can be attained. So from the point of view, Brahman aspect of the absolute truth is also being indicated. So we let us restrict till that only. No need to extend all the way up to Golok Vrindavan and so. So what I was trying to say is, just like we have different mantras, Om Namo Narayanaya, Sri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. In one sense, the mantra whose name it has, obviously we have attachment to that person, that's why we are chanting that mantra. And one who has attachment to Lord Krishna, generally it is not expected that he will chant Om Namo Narayanaya. He will chant Hare Krishna mantra or Sri Krishna Sharanam Mama, that mantra which has Lord Krishna's name. But even otherwise also, if one is connected to a particular parampara, they are giving that particular mantra which for example, in Sri Vaishnava devotees, they are chanting Om Namo Narayana. Can they have the desire to go to Krishna? Can Sri Vaishnavas? To that Vaikuntha where Lord Krishna is there. Because some Sri Vaishnavas might be so much attached to Ranganath Swami, they might want to go to that Vaikuntha where Ranganath Swami is there. Some might be so much attached to our Kanchi Varadaraj, they might want to go to that Vaikuntha. Some might be so much attached to Lord Tirupati Balaji, they might want to go there to go Vaikuntha where Lord Balaji is there. Can someone have attachment to go to Lord Ram? Someone have attachment to Lord Krishna? Yes or no? Vinay Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji, it depends upon the desire of the devotee.
Now tell me,
Prabhuji,
which mantra they
sorry.
should chant? Which mantra
Yeah.
they should chant? Now they should chant Hare Krishna or Om Namo
Whatever
Narayana?
their worshipable deity is worshipped by that mantra, they should chant by that mantra.
Why, which mantra they should chant?
If he wants to go to Vaikuntha, he will chant Om Namo Narayana. If he wants to go to Ayodhya, he will chant Sitaram.
No, but in Sri Vaishnavism there is only one mantra. Om Namo
Yeah, so
Narayana.
he will chant Om Namo Narayana.
Will he go to Ayodhya?
No, why will he go to Ayodhya?
Why?
Because he does not want to go there.
Hey, Papa, I'm just now I told. He is a born Sri Vaishnava.
Yeah.
He was given the mantra, Guru gave that mantra, and now somehow or other he developed a desire to go to Lord Ram instead of going to Ranganath Swami or Varadaraj or Balaji. Will he or not?
Yes, the mantra will take him wherever it desires.
Okay, thank you.
Prabhuji, one more confusion then. What is this mantra is for chanting to Lord Vasudeva? And then why is Narada Muni saying that he will have darshan of Lord Sankarsana?
See, again, why you are confused so much?
Because Vasudeva and Sankarsana are two different personalities, no Prabhuji?
Wait. This mantra is full mantra ना? इसमें संकर्षण का नाम है क्या नहीं?
Yes, but normally throughout the Bhagavatam that we have seen, Narada always gives the mantra for going or giving darshan of Lord Vasudeva is the four-arm Narayana. This is the first time that he is saying that you will have darshan of Lord Sankarsana. Why is that?
No, I just now I told this mantra is what Narada Muni received from Bhaktivedantas. This mantra is the same mantra which Narada Muni gave it to Prachina Bargi also. I suppose this is the same mantra which he gave to, not exactly, so he gave to Dhruva only Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yeah, two places Narada Muni gave the same mantra.
But he had darshan of Lord Vasudeva, no?
No, why? He
So,
can have Sankarsana also. This mantra may contain four lords. Among the four, whomsoever you want to have, you want to see, you will see them only.
so what are you saying, Prabhuji, that in the first canto, one Narad Muni had darshan, which deity did he see?
Narada Muni had Darshana Paramatma only, whoever is there in the core of the heart. He just saw within the core of the heart and then he disappeared.
Yes, but Paramatma is Vasudeva, no? Isn't
See, it's okay. Okay, that time Narad saw Vasudeva, and this time Chitraketu Maharaj might want to see Sankarshana. What is the problem? Let him see na.
no, I have no problem. I was just curious. Abhi tak to Lord Vasudeva he was concentrating on.
Not
Now,
necessarily. See, it does not matter. That's what
okay,
I'm trying to say.
okay,
Even chanting Namo Narayana mantra, if you want to have darshan of Lord Krishna, you will get the darshan of Lord Krishna.
okay,
Mantra is the process. Your desire will bring you to the destination.
okay, okay. Sorry, Prabhuji, for taking us first.
See, for example, you want to go from Bombay to Delhi. Okay, either can go by bus, or you can go by Rajdhani train, or you can go by airplane. Are you getting?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Understood. Sorry, sir.
So one mantra could be compared to airplane, one mantra could be compared to Rajdhani Express, other mantra could be compared to bus. All these are bona fide mantras. It is not that they are hodgepodge. Correct.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Mataji.
Prabhuji, can it be like this that the Narad Muni gave the mantra according to the propensity of that jiva to perform devotional service to a particular form of the Lord? Means in his previous birth, maybe he was a devotee of Sankarshan, Lord Sankarshan. Therefore, he gave this mantra or something like that. Because he gave a different mantra to Dhruv Maharaj.
Yeah, it could be. It depends. The guru and he understands the desire of the
From where
devotee,
the
mentality
jiva
of
has
the
come.
devotee accordingly. Yeah, it could be. It could be. But here I specifically mentioned it many times. This is a universal mantra. So in that way, it is encompassing multiple possibilities. In one sense, when you say Hare Krishna is kind of restricted to Lord Krishna only, Sitarama restricted to Lord Rama only, Namo Narayana restricted to Narayana only, Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva restricted to Vasudeva only. We may put so many restrictions in other cases, so they are not. But in this case, there is Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, who are also known as Paramatma, who are also known as Brahman. So it is like a variegated possibilities are there.
Prabhuji, the time period in which the mantra will be fructified, like it will give the desired results, it will depend on the intensity with which one is chanting. Because means we see the same mantra is being chanted by Chitraketu, he got results in 1 week. Same mantra Prachin Bari chanted, he got it after some days. I don't know exactly the time period. And Narad Muni himself also chanted this mantra instead. But Narad Muni didn't get result so fast na, in one. So how to understand this?
Depends on one's intensity. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva many might have chanted, but Dhruva got the result in 6 months.
Yeah, but Prabhuji here, let's say Narad Muni is in one sense again the guru of Chitraketu, right? Because he is instructing him. So how it can be that the guru took more time than the disciple, like Chitraketu in just 1
It's
week?
okay, na? If everyone is an individual, why you want to put that kind of restriction?
Okay. Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Just because one took a lot of time, that means you cannot put him in a lower position.
It is not the value judgment, Prabhuji. That is what I was trying to understand. Because Lord also gave him darshan for some few seconds, and then he said, "Na, I gave it just to increase your intensity and longing for me like that." So means Lord may attract each one in a different way. He's having so many ways.
So if that is the case, there is no clear-cut mention of how much time Narada did that meditation. He might have done for one murta only, na? Here at least he is doing for more than 7 days. There he did only for one murta. Within the murta, Paramatma appeared.
You mean the time period, that time scale was different than this, that? Okay.
It was only, it could have been one murta only, not necessarily so far.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay. See, Binit Prabhu also. Matlab, see, Binit Prabhu, it's okay. We don't have to worry about all those things. What happens where one goes, that is all too much high-fi to think as of now. Let us focus on our day-to-day practices. वो करने के बहुत मुश्किल होता है. कि क्या होगा, कैसे होगा, किधर कौन जाएगा, वो सब. Basically, one point from Brahma's prayers, we can understand that the devotees desire to serve the Lord in a particular way. If the desire is intense, that desire will take one to Supreme Lord quickly. That desire is important. In which way one want to serve the Lord and where.
Yes, Prabhu, we understood. Thank you very much.
So in that way. So other things are all details. Since we are connected to this Sampradaya and we are chanting Hare Krishna mantra. We are connected to some other Sampradaya, we may be chanting a different mantra. But the devotee there might have same desire that we have. We have a desire to go to Golok Vrindavan. Even a Vaishnava devotee also might have a desire to go to Golok Vrindavan. But his guru gave him that mantra, so he will chant that mantra only. No problem. So that way. I don't know, I may be wrong also, but this is my understanding. It is coming from the Supreme Lord himself directly. It is coming in the parampara. So it will facilitate one's journey back home, back to Godhead. If the devotee's desire is strong and practice are very strong, they matter. Yanna spushanti navidur.
Yanna sprushanti na vidur.
Anta bahischa vitatam. Antar bahischa vitatam.
Prabhuji, Mano Buddhir Indriya.
Okay. Mano buddhi indriya savaha.
Mano Buddhir Indriya Sava.
Anta bahischa vitatam.
Antar Bahishcha Vitatam.
Vyoma tannatosmyaham.
Vyomavattanatosmyaham. The Supreme Brahman emanates from the Supreme Personality of Godhead and expands like the sky. Although untouched by anything material, it exists within and without. Nonetheless, the mind, intelligence, senses, and living force can neither touch him nor know him. I offer unto him my respectful obeisance.
So other aspects of the absolute truth are kind of expanded here. I offer respects to the Lord who spreads inside and outside like the air, and whom the mind, intelligence, senses, and life force cannot touch or know. Again, like Ishopnishad verses, he is inside, is outside, he runs, he does not run, he is at one place and is everywhere. So such kind of contradictions. He offers respect to the Lord. How? Respects to the Lord, how he is beyond the senses. He cannot be touched by the action senses or known by the knowledge senses. So basically, with our karmendriyas, we cannot experience the presence of the Lord. We cannot touch him. And with our jnanendriyas, we may not be able to understand this Lord. Well, that is because he is far away. Somebody may say that no, he is not far away, he is inside our heart. He is Paramatma, he is there very close to us. But at the same time, he is outside also. Though he is very close to us, but we are not able to see him. We are not able to touch him. We are not able to speak to him or hear him. Why? Though apparently he is inside our heart, but he is very far away from us. We are not able to hear him and he is not able to hear us. He is so far. We can't see him, we can't touch him, we can't smell him, we can't taste him, we can't hear him, So like that. So in this way, the distance at which the Lord is situated is being indicated. The cause of the jiva's ignorance of the Lord is explained next. Why? We are not able to understand the Lord with our jnanendriyas and karmendriyas and with our mind, senses, all these things. There is a technical reason for that that will be explained in the next verse. But normally, to understand, simple to understand is our jnanendriyas, our karmendriyas, our mind, intelligence, ego, and our body. All these are made up of 24 material elements which are produced from the three modes of material nature. That means all these elements are produced from the material nature, three modes of the material nature. They can access the three modes. They cannot have any access to something beyond three modes. That's why, with the help of these things, we cannot understand the Lord. We cannot interact with the Lord who is situated beyond three modes. That is the limitation with this material body.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Ah,
Prabhuji, that means we, the conditioned soul, have no chance to understand the Lord in one sense. Because we are essentially in the material realm. All our senses, action, or knowledge acquiring senses, or whatever, intelligence, everything is in the material realm. So then what is the chance for us that when we can really understand the Lord?
By our own endeavor, we cannot. But when Lord reveals, we will.
Okay, because I was also thinking like those pure devotees of the Lord who really understand the Lord, is it that by their sadhana, their senses get spiritualized, and that is why
No,
they
wait.
can
During our Prachina Bharhi pastime, we have explained it elaborately multiple times. Out of the 24 elements, there is one element which has connection with Shuddha Sattva. Which is that element within our body which has connection to Shuddha Sattva?
Chitta.
Currently, our Chitta is in dormant state. When we awaken Chitta, the Chitta can reveal the transcendental subject matter to us. All other 23 elements can only reveal the matter. The transcendence can be revealed only by Chitta. Our sadhana is all about to awaken Chitta. As of now, Chitta is subdued by the 23 elements. The 23 powerful elements are subduing. Chitta has become unconscious. We have to feed it, we have to strengthen it, we have to make it awake so that the Chitta can reveal us the four transcendental subject matters: Ishvara, Jiva, Kala, and Prakriti. In their true existence. Currently, whatever knowledge we may know about all those four things, it is only abhas, jnanabhas. A kind of relative understanding of those things. This point we discussed many times in Prachina Bharhi pastime.
Yeah, that is why theoretically, although we understand things, actually practically we cannot implement it totally. Like for example, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra itself, like, we hear so much about its glories. We know that it is not different than Lord. We know that it possesses all the power of the Lord. Everything still means Pravik, at least I can say for myself, from first round, from first mantra till 16th round, last mantra, our consciousness, my consciousness doesn't remain with that. Yes, this is the Lord I'm meeting. So means that is why, because maybe because our senses are still struggling in the matter itself.
Yeah. To the extent the Chitta becomes awakened, to that extent one will be able to understand the subject matter. That's why Bhagavatam says many times, with our mind, intelligence, ahankara, jnanendriyas, karmendriyas, we may not be able to, will not be understanding the Supreme Lord. The simple basic reason is all these things are dealing with the material world, which is in three modes. The Lord is beyond three modes. An instrument within three modes cannot give the knowledge about something which is beyond three modes. It is simple. It's apeksha dharma. Relative understanding.
It is quite depressing in one sense, Prabhuji, because we know that whatever, मतलब हम कितना भी हाथ पैर चलाए, whatever efforts we may do, but it will not bear result till the Lord showers His mercy. Of course, it is all the efforts are means it's like how we Damodar Lila we say our endeavors and Lord's mercy. So, in proportion to our endeavors, the Lord's mercy will flow. So,
what was that famous verse for NOD? Prabhupada always quotes this verse. Anyone remembers?
Atha Shri Krishna Namadi.
That also, yes. Atha Shri Krishna Namadi na bhavet grahyam indriyam. We cannot understand Krishna or Krishna's Nama Rupa Gun Lila through our indriyas. All the way up to mind, intelligence, ahankara. For when it is possible?
Sevonmukhi Jivado.
Then what?
Swayam eva spurati.
Swayam eva spurati adha.
What do you mean by that?
It will manifest itself. Swayam eva.
अपने आप आ जाता है. You cannot buy it. We cannot purchase it. We cannot get it. वो अपने आप आना चाहिए. When we show our eagerness, when we show our qualification. That is possible only when we engage properly in service. That is what Srila Prabhupada quotes the other verse. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Satya Kabunoi Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta Karoyude. First we need to Shravanam and Adi. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Marchanam, Mandaram, Dasam, Sakya, Matma, Nivedanam. When we do all these things, then there is Shuddha Chitta, the purification of our consciousness. And then Nitya Siddhaka Krishna Prema will Uday Yoga. Whatever Krishna Prema you can see in Siddha Bhakta will also manifest in one's heart. So, like every day morning in Mangalarti, we say, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Cheta means Chitta. Our Chitta is like Darpan. When the Darpan is covered by so much dust, we need to clean it. The cleaning is our sadhana. When we clean, जितना clean करेंगे, उतना clear होगा image. Basically, चित्त को जागृत करने का. That is the purpose of our sadhana. It is only with the help of Chitta we can understand Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala. Otherwise, with all our endeavors, we can at max we can understand things in this material world only. Nothing beyond this material for you. One may have theoretical knowledge, but one will not have any realization. Sorry to disappoint all of you, but I don't know. This is how I have understood this portion of Bhagavatam.
Prabhuji, it is very clear in you explaining it so nicely. Yes, Prabhuji.
And that is why also it is said, na Prabhuji, that one will know one's progress. No one else can actually, in one sense, because when one eats, he knows how much my hunger is fulfilled and whether it is getting fulfilled or not. Other person won't see that. Like, so we know our sadhana where it is progressing. Thank
Okay. Because we only know our limitations, and we only know our intentions, and we only know our shortcomings. No one else. We can hide them in front of others so nicely. All our shortcomings, we can hide them, and we can make up ourselves very nicely, and we can project ourselves as a pure devotee. But we ourselves know, as you rightly said, who we are, where we are. No one else can know. Yes, of course, no one means around us. Matma knows, and the higher entities knows, and through their communication, Guru also knows. But our near and dear friends may not know completely. They may also get some sixth sense, gut feeling, but they may not be knowing everything in detail. So, but anyway, it's a long way to go. So we'll have quickly a couple of minutes break, and then we'll continue. So,
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, please, we'll continue.
Yes, Prabhu.
Dehendriya prana mano diyomi
Dehendriya prana mano dhiyomi
yadam shavitta pracharanti karmashu
yad amsha vidha pracharanti karmasu
naivanyadalauham viva prataptam
नैवान्यदा लौहम् इवा प्रतप्तम्
स्थानेषु तदृष्टपदेशमेति
स्थानेषु तदृष्टप्रपदेशमेति. As iron has the power to burn when made red hot in the association of fire, so the body, senses, living force, mind, and intelligence, although merely lumps of matter, can function in their activities when infused with a particle of consciousness by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As iron cannot burn unless heated by fire, the bodily senses cannot act unless favored by the Supreme Brahman.
So here, with the help of an example, trying to expand what was said in the previous verse. Yanna sprushanti navidur mano buddhi indriya asava. With our mind, with our buddhi, with our indriyas, we will not be able to touch the absolute truth, the Supreme Lord or Brahman. Because they are residing in the transcendental platform, we are in the material platform. That is the primary reason. So how can you say that? We are all doing it. We are trying to do it. So I mean, if you say you cannot do, then what is the need of doing all these things? Let me say like that. So with an example, is telling how and why. Only when endowed with consciousness by the Lord do the body, senses, life force, and intelligence move to their objects, just as unheated iron cannot burn. That means in our body we have the whole body made up of 5 Panchamahabhutas, and we also have 5 Jnanendriyas, 5 Karmendriyas, mind, intelligence, Ahakara, all these things are there. Only as long as the soul and super soul are there within this body animates, and this body becomes attracted to some sense object in front of us, and the body performs some activity to attain that sense object. All these things are only possible only when there is Paramatma and Jivatma inside the body. When they are not there, even though all the senses are there in the body, they cannot do anything. Just like a cold iron rod cannot burn any object. But when the iron rod is put into fire, when the iron rod becomes red hot, wherever you touch, that will get burned. Because the iron rod acts like the fire. Similarly, when there is Paramatma and Jivatma inside this body, the body acts as if I'm the Paramatma, I'm the Jivatma, I'm the full of life. So like that. Without the influence of the Lord, they do not move. The Lord allows the Jiva, who can see in waking and dream states, to see him by endowing him with Shakti. So there are 3 things are mentioned here. It is by the presence of the Lord. Throughout the day, we are able to see things are in front of us. Even while sleeping, in our dream also, we are able to see some things. Within the dream world also, we are able to see. That is also by Lord's mercy. And Lord's mercy goes to some extent that with that mercy, we can also see the Supreme Lord also. What to speak of some visible world in front of our eyes, what to speak of some imaginary world within our dream, even we can see the transcendental world when there is Lord's mercy. Just like the Lord is enabling us and showing his mercy upon us so that we are able to interact with the world in front of us and interact with a imaginary world within our dreams, then we can interact with the spiritual world by Lord's mercy. So by Lord's mercy, one can realize the Lord. Without Lord's mercy, only with the instances, one cannot. So that is the boundary. I mean, that means even without Lord's mercy, we can't even interact with the material world. Then what to speak of the spiritual world? That point we need to understand. Even for our body to function, even for our senses to function, even for our mind and intelligence to function, we constantly need Lord's mercy. Then what to speak of understanding the Supreme Lord without Lord's mercy? How it is possible? So like that we have to understand. When our whole personality is endowed with Chitta Shakti, we'll understand the Supreme Lord by Lord's mercy. When a portion of the Lord's consciousness enters our body, senses, life airs, and intelligence can move toward the sense objects. In a normal materialistic understanding, our body is active and we want to eat something, we want to see something, we want to hear something, we want to be comfortable. Like summer is going on in Mumbai, we want to have AC. Something like that. When a person is awake or dreaming, but not in other states such as deep sleep and fainting. When a person is unconscious, when a person deep sleep, one will not be able to see anything, neither in dream nor in awakened state. So that is excluded, but otherwise two states are included: waking state and dreaming state. Iron which is not heated does not burn. So there is another meaning to the same verse. What is that? Just as iron which has become a burning agent by the energy of fire does not burn fire itself. There is a fire is the source. When we put the iron rod into the fire, the iron rod becomes like the fiery rod. Fiery rod will burn. No. Similarly, so the body and senses activated to their sense objects by the energy of Brahman or Paramatma or Bhagavan do not touch Brahman. They do not know Brahman with them. When a rod was put into fire, it becomes red hot, and you take that rod and touch anywhere, that will be burnt. But the same rod, we cannot burn the fire from which it got the fire. Same way, it is by Paramatma, our whole body is getting energized and able to perform so many activities to get sense objects. But this body consisting of senses, mind, intelligence cannot understand the Paramatma itself. If the Jiva is a seer, one second, let us complete this point. The next question is, how can you say if the Jiva is the seer, why can't he see the Brahman? Why can't he know the Brahman? If Jiva is able to know everything in front of him, can't he know the Paramatma also? Why not? Then the answer is, Brahman makes the Jivas accomplish his seeing. It is by the ability of Brahman, the ability given by Brahman to us, we are able to see things, we are able to understand things when we hear about something. And by giving the Jiva a small portion of his consciousness in order to perfect Jiva's seeing power, the Jiva achieves the Lord. Just like by Paramatma's power only, we are able to see things in front of us and we are able to see, understand things in front of us. And similarly, when Paramatma gives us that ability to understand Paramatma himself, we'll understand. For people in general, Paramatma gives the material ability so that we can understand the material world. When the same Paramatma, when he sees the necessary qualification, can give us the spiritual ability by which we can understand spiritual subject matter also. So like that, in every case, it is by Paramatma only it is possible. That is the whole point. That means by our own endeavor, we cannot. It is only by Paramatma's mercy. Any small thing we do, it is possible. Not by our own endeavor. So like that. And by giving the Jiva a small portion of his consciousness, that means Shakti, in order to perfect Jiva's seeing power, seeing the Supreme Lord, the Jiva achieves the Lord. Jiva gets the realization of Supreme Lord. Some say that Jiva is insentient like mind. So just like we say mind is Jada, the 24 elements, at least 23 elements are Jada, we say. Similarly, in one sense, Jiva is also Jada. Unless until Paramatma enables that Jiva in the material world is completely covered by Avidya Shakti. So that Jiva is Jada. Even though one may be having life, but the life has nothing to do with the spiritual activities. When Jiva is in spiritual consciousness, one should accept him to be living. If Jiva is in the material consciousness, he is as good as dead only. Just like matter is dead, material conscious Jiva is also Jada or dead. So in that way it is said. If we want to understand the Supreme Lord, we need Lord's special mercy, the spiritual mercy. By our own endeavor, we cannot. And there is another third meaning also. The Brahman knows the Jiva, but the Jiva does not know the Brahman. It has been said in the Amsaguhya prayers. Amsaguhya prayers also, our Daksha Prajapati offered similar prayer. What he said? The body, the life force, the senses, the Manbuddhi, Ahankara, internal senses, the five gross elements, and the sense objects, five Tanmatras, do not know themselves or other things are the Jiva. These 24 himself, they don't know three things. First of all, they don't know about themselves, they don't know about others, and they don't even know the Jiva. But the Jiva knows all these items and the gunas which cause them. It is the Jivatma can understand all these things. But the element themselves cannot understand about themselves, they cannot understand about others, they cannot understand the Jiva. But Jiva can know all these things. Similarly, he also knows Paramatma, but does not know the omniscient Lord. I worship that Lord with infinite qualities. The Jivatma, when he understands that who he is, that what is that? Science of self-realization. When one is self-realized, one can also say that, okay, I am self-realized. Paramatma is also similar to Jivatma, because Jivatma and Paramatma are similar in qualitative nature. So I can also know somewhat about Paramatma. One can say that much only. But knowing Bhagavan is completely possible by Bhagavan's mercy. So that is what Dakshat said there. Same way here, we can also say, take same help of the same verse here also to understand this. So basically, whatever we have, it needs the empowerment by Paramatma to interact within the material world itself. Then what to speak of interacting with the spiritual world and spiritual objects and spiritual personalities. So that is the understanding. Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, I got my answer in this explanation you gave.
Oh.
I was wondering whether the jiva, when it comes to the material world, before
Yeah, go ahead.
Before the consciousness enters,
We are not able to
it
hear
is
you.
it is jada you mentioned. So I was wondering whether the consciousness comes along with the jiva, or whether the Lord gives a portion of his consciousness afterwards. So it is said, you mentioned that the jiva is jad when it comes to the material world.
Mm.
And only when the Lord gives the jiva a small portion of his consciousness, here you've written, in order to perfect the jiva's seeing power.
Mm-hmm.
So only when that consciousness is given to the jiva, then it develops certain abilities.
Yeah, that Shuddha Chitta, when it is awakened, with that one will be able to understand and realize the Supreme Lord.
So I was not able to understand before, like whether the jiva comes with the chitta only from within the body of the Mahavishnu, or like
The Chitta is given to Jiva, but it is in dormant state. When it is dormant state, it can't do anything.
So the chitta is there originally with the jiva, but in dormant state. And when it comes to the material world, it becomes conscious.
Not like conscious in the sense. See, there are different people say differently. If you take Chitta as one of the 24 elements, the 24 elements are given to Jiva. That means the body has been given to Jiva, which is made up of 24 elements when Jiva comes to material world. See, Atma by nature, it is situated in Satchidananda Swarupa. Atma by nature is constitutionally situated in Satchidananda. But Atma's interaction with the material world while in the material world is through 24 elements. So, in that way.
So it can interact only when the chitta is infused in the body.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yes, makes sense, yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, what is the essential difference between Paramatma and Bhagwan? Because here it is said na, that he can realize Paramatma but not the Bhagwan.
No, not fully, to some extent. See, This we have already told many times. There are two things: form and activities. Bhagavan has form also, activities also. Brahman has no form, no activities. And Paramatma has form, but no activities. Can anyone help me explain this?
Like means we are saying that Brahman is formless and without activity. So and then Paramatma stage, when it comes, it has form but it doesn't have activity. And when it comes to Bhagwan, it has both the activity. So it is like as we move from Brahman to Paramatma to Bhagwan, it's an aspect of the Lord. It is getting more and more means explicit, and all the qualities are getting exhibited like that.
Yeah.
Means the Lord displays his own capacities to in even in various avatars in amount whatever is needed. So similarly in his Brahman aspect, Paramatma aspect, and Bhagwan aspect also, he will means he will display his capacities in a ascending order. What we are saying, that's what I could understand.
Yes, yes. Same thing. Anyone else want to try? Other devotees?
Hare
Beneath
Krishna,
Prabhu?
Prabhuji.
Yes, madam.
Prabhuji, Brahman is the effulgence, and it's like the sun planet, and the sun's rays that we studied in Bhagavad
No,
Gita.
not that. With respect, with
Sorry,
We can't hear you, Prabhu.
Hare
no
Krishna.
action, no form. Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, okay.
Hare Krishna. Now you are able to hear me? See,
Yes.
Yes.
one has no action, no form. So one has form but no action. The third one has action and form. So what do you understand?
That Bhagwan is like a person, like just like a human
Mm.
being has activities, rasas.
Mm.
So that is a complete. The form is completely just like we are human beings, just like the
Madam.
Supreme Lord. So the Lord is also.
Yes, perfect. What about the other two?
The description of the Paramatma is given in the second canto, Prabhuji. So it has a form, but it lies dormant within the human beings or jivas
Okay.
until it is awakened by devotional service or other processes.
Okay, not required that much, also not required. See, from practical point of view, so Bhagavan is like active person. If the person is there, if you are standing in front of him, he will speak, he will embrace, and he will do something for you, or he will tell you to do something for him. Things are happening like usual, normal things. When it comes to Paramatma, he has a form, 400 Chaturbuja form, but he is always in Yoga Nidra. A person, when he is always in Yoga Nidra, does he do any activity? Karanadakshaya Vishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, even the Antaryami within our heart is simply lying in Yoga Nidra posture. There are no physical activities to say. There is no Adan Pradhan. There is no speaking and hearing. There is no giving and taking. There is no activity. From the worldly norms, what we call activity, that kind of activity does not perform. Nothing. Other don't want to see him also. His form also becomes invisible. Of course, उनका कुछ action भी नहीं, और उनका form also becomes invisible. He becomes like a shade. That is Brahman aspect. That's why Prabhupada gives always this example. From far, when you see the train, it appears to be like a light. When you go a little bit nearby, it seems to be like different dabbas. But when you actually come close to the train, you will see in each and every dabba there are seats, people, and people are doing so many activities. Some people are eating, some people are talking, some people are doing something else, this, that, so many things. Same way Prabhupada gives another example of mountain. When you see from far distant, the mountain appears to be like some huge body, no variegedness. When you go nearby, you may see the dimensions. The form is very clear. There is some portion green, some portion black, some portion red, some portion brown, something like that. But when you come very close by, you will understand. The green one is plants, the black one is the rocks, and the white one is the waterfalls. And there are trees, birds, insects, animals. That variety you will know. So Srila Prabhupada gives such kind of examples always to make us understand with which we are familiar. So here, Jivatma and Paramatma, both of them are in the heart. So when one Jiva is realized oneself, from Bhagavad Gita, if you remember, the chapter 5, does Jiva personally perform any activities? Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvacha ahankara vimudatma karta miti mannate. This is third chapter words and then fifth chapter also. Jiva is defined as Sakshi. Jiva is only witness. All the activities that are performed are nothing but the senses are interacting with the sense objects. Who is doing the activity? The senses are doing the activities in reality, not the Atma. So what kind of relation he has? The realization is Atma has a form and Atma has no activity, which is exactly matching to Paramatma. Since Jiva is like this, and Jiva being Jiva in Amsha Paramatma, Paramatma is also like that. It's like a bottom up approach. So Jiva is an Amsha Paramatma, and now I understood what is Jiva. Therefore, Paramatma also will have similar qualities and characteristics. So in that way, he says, since I have already realized Jiva, I can also make a guess of Paramatma.
But
So like that.
Jiva has activity, no?
No, but Jiva activity, so why Krishna is telling Jiva is Sakshi? And why he is telling that Prakrite Kriyamanani Gunai Karmani Sarvasha? क्या activity है जीवा का?
We say soul is so active, it cannot remain inactive. How can it remain inactive in Brahman?
That's what, okay, active only, but what kind of activity it does? Again, you remember
like,
those classes we discussed. पर प्राचीन बरी का टाइम का क्लासेस में हमने बहुत बार चर्चा किया इस पॉइंट को. What activity जीवा does?
like Jiva can perceive things. Jiva can,
No. No.
It induces the other senses to act.
Yeah.
That is primarily Paramatma is doing. What is that activity Jiva does?
It induces the senses to act.
Not exactly. That will be done by mind and pranas.
The jiva is like a chariot rider inside, just witnessing what is going
yeah,
on.
now tell me, what is the order that the passenger will give to the driver?
Instructions.
What is that one order?
To go in a particular direction.
Yeah.
To go
to be
and
more precise, to be more precise, to take me to the destination.
Yeah.
Not in the direction also, destination. The Jiva has only one activity to do is that, oh my dear friend, I want Ananda, please give me Ananda. Anandamayo Abhyasat. Jiva only want Ananda. If Jiva comes and sits in the body and says that, please give me Ananda. आप कैसे देंगे, कहाँ से देंगे, how you figure out. Don't trouble me. You keep giving me Ananda. It's like a guest comes to your home and you ask, okay, for lunch, what do you want to have? And the guest will tell, so let us have for today's lunch so and so item. I don't want many things. I just want a couple of things. Then who will do all those things?
The host.
Host. And when lunchtime comes, the person comes and sits on the dining table and the host serves. The host only makes the order, makes wish. Fulfill करने वाला guest है. A guest नहीं, host. The guest makes order and host fulfills. So Atma is like Atiti. The body is the host. Atma is the guest. Body is the host. Like that. थोड़ा deviant लग रहा है क्या?
No, Prabhuji, thank you very much. We are getting in some insights also into these. Small little points, they remain in the difficulties, remain in the mind.
Because
so
this point we discussed many times in our Prachina Bari pastime also. So when Prachina Puranjana comes there, what Puranjani says? What was the assurance that Puranjani gives? And what was the first thing Puranjana was doing? Puranjana was looking for a suitable place where he can stay and enjoy to the fullest extent. And Puranjani promises, you stay here, we'll offer you all the enjoyment that you are looking for. So that is what it is.
Worried, like means abhi Puranjana ka pastimes mein se bhi detail we don't recall so much. So once the Bhakti Vaibhav gets over, how long we will remember all this? I'm really worried.
You can only remember if you continuously discuss.
Yeah.
Here and there, in your circle, wherever you speak to interact with other people, those things which you discuss continuously, those things you remember always. If we don't discuss, we forget. But they may be there within our subconscious mind. When there is opportunity to discuss about them, you may be reminded of all those things. But the general principle is those things we can't continuously discuss, we remember.
Very true. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, you want to say something?
Prabhuji, the answer which means the question I had asked is the same now, like that the ascending order of it's between the manifestation of Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. So according
Yes.
it will differ like that. Yeah. Okay.
See, that's what you are trying to understand absolute truth from far distant. You will only get Brahman understanding. If you go little close, you will get Paramatma understanding. If you come very close, you will get Bhagavan understanding. That means whether you may use the word close or you can use the word deeper. Deeper and deeper and deeper.
Okay. So here whatever was mentioned that with that much capacities you can only pursue the Paramatma aspect of the Lord, but the Bhagavan aspect cannot be pursued. Okay,
even this is not complete perception, also it is inference. A person who is realized about the soul can infer the characteristics of Paramatma also, super soul. Yes, both are qualitatively one only.
Right.
Okay. Since we have started the class, we'll take a couple of verses. The prayers are started by Chitraketu Maharaj. वहां तक थोड़ा discuss करेंगे. Prayers we will do in the next class because the prayers are very important. Still technical also. So we quickly go through few verses. Last 10 minutes. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahapurushaya Mahanubhavaya Mahavibhuti Pataye Sakala Shashvata Parivruddha Nikara Kara Kamala Kudma Lopa Lalita Charanaravinda Yugala Parameshtin Namaste. This verse is similar to those verses which are spoken in the 5th canto, the prayers offered by Jambudvipa residents. In every prayer, first there is one Mula Mantra for different forms of the Lord. So this is a Mula Mantra for this Lord. O Lord, whose lotus feet are affectionately massaged by the lotus hands of groups of excellent devotees. O Supreme among Supreme Lords, we offer respects to the great person, the great authority, the Lord of great powers. Here, one point is hinted. Having spoken of the Lord giving knowledge, now the mantra speaks of the Lord giving rasa. This mantra is all about rasa. O Lord, with lotus feet which are massaged with affection by bud-like lotus hands of groups of excellent devotees. Lakshmi Sahasra Sambrama Sevamanam. The understanding is that we Sahasra Lakshmis are worshipping you by doing your foot massage. Let me also add to that 1,000 list. Whether it is 1,000 or 1,001, what difference it will make? Please make me part of those 1,000 Lakshmis so that I will also massage your lotus feet. So that was the intention. This is rasa means serving the Lord in a personal way in Dasya Bhav. This is rasa aspect. But you are very low, Lord may say. How can I engage you in such high service? The devotee will say, my dear Lord, you are the supreme among the supreme lords. You are able to do what others cannot do. Yeah, yes, I do accept. You are very great, and all the Lakshmis who are serving you also very great. I am not at all, but you are so great you can make no one to someone. You can enable me to be there, one among them, and so that I can do massage to your lotus feet. So this is, in one sense, as I was mentioning from the very beginning, this mantra is a universal mantra, but with Dasya Bhav. And this is an example of Dasa Seva, massaging the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. The devotee ultimately says that I want to serve you in person, as something like massaging your lotus feet. Please give me that position so that I can serve you in person. This is the final request of the devotee. And these are the mantras which are spoken by Narada Muni to Chitraketu Maharaj. If one meditates and chants these mantras continuously, one will get the result in no time. So that is the understanding. Sri Shuka Uvacha. Someone can repeat the verse.
Vacha.
Bhaktayaitam prapannaya
Bhaktayaitam prapannaya
Vidyam Adishya Narada
Vidyamadishya Narada
Yayav Angirasa Shakam
Yayavangirasa Sakam
Dama Swayambhuvam Prabhu.
Dhama Swayambhuvam Prabhu.
O King,
Sri
Narada, having instructed the devotee Chitraketu, who was fully surrendered this knowledge, then left with the great sage Angira for Brahmaloka. So after speaking this mantra to Chitraketu Maharaj, Narada took Angira Rishi to Satyaloka, the abode of Lord Brahma. Narada gave one great knowledge which contained many important statements. Angira was the person who bestowed Chitraketu his son. Thus previously it was said that Angira arrived with Narada. Now it is said Narada left with Angira. This indicates the importance of Narada because he gave Chitraketu the mantra. Sukadeva Goswami addresses the king as master to indicate that he is very capable of understanding the meaning of these teachings. So Sukadeva Goswami is telling Prabhu, O King Parikshit, you can understand the meaning of these mantras. Previously, when Narada Muni spoke some enigmatic words to 10,000 Aryashvas, Parikshit Maharaj immediately asked the question, my dear sir, please wait. I'm not able to comprehend what is the meaning of those verses spoken by Narada Muni. Please elaborate the meaning. And previously, when Maitreya Rishi spoke the allegorical story of Puranjana, then Sukadeva Parikshit Maharaj told, okay, that is fine. Vidura understood, but I'm not able to understand. Please explain the meaning of the story. Sometimes Parikshit Maharaj would ask, please tell me the meaning of this intricate story. But here, Sukadeva Goswami himself saying that, I think this story you don't need second explanation. You can understand this. You are capable of understanding the meaning of the mantra spoken by Narada Muni. So in that way, he's saying. चित्रकेतुस्तु तां विद्याम्
चित्रकेतुस्तुतां विद्यां
यथा नारदभाषिताम्
यथा नारदभाषितां
धारयाम् आस सपतां सप्ताहम्
धारयाम् आस सप्ताहम्
अभक्षा सुसमाहितः.
भक्षः सुसमाहितः.
Fasting and drinking only water. Ab bhaksha means bhumi rapo. Ab means water. Only was taking water. Fasting and drinking only water. Chitraketu for 1 week continuously chanted with great care and great attention the mantra given by Narada Muni. As suggested, Chitraketu Maharaj chanted this mantra for 7 days. So what happened after 7 days? Tata sa sapta ratrante. Quick, someone.
तथा स सप्तरात्रान्ते
विद्यया धार्यमाणया
विद्यया धार्यमाणया
विद्याधराधिपत्यं च
विद्याधराधिपत्यं च
लेभे प्रतिहतं नृपा.
लेभे प्रतिहतं नृपा.
O King Parikshit, after only 1 week of repeatedly practicing the mantra, Chitraketu Maharaj achieved the rulership of the Aboda Vidyadharas. After doing this for 7 days, Chitraketu Maharaj achieved the position of a Vidyadhara. Not only with the position of Vidyadhara, he became the king of Vidyadharas. This is intermediate results. This result came to Chitraketu Maharaj because Chitraketu Maharaj had one strong desire. That is, I should rule this kingdom very nicely, and I should create a proper legacy who can rule this kingdom very nicely. That means I should have a proper son who can continue to rule this kingdom in a dharmic way. So basically, he had a desire that he should be known as a dharmic king, and he should also want to have a dharmic son who will be a dharmic king. Because he had that strong desire that will be fulfilled in the form of becoming king of Vidyadharas. He did sadhana, though he did not ask the Lord this desire now, but this desire was there very strongly in his heart. It is fulfilled now. He became the king of Vidyadharas. He was given that position. And then still he did not stop the mantra chanting there. He continued the mantra chanting further. Tata katipayaho
तथा कतिपयाहोभिर्
विद्ययेद्दा मनोगतिः
विद्ययेत्थ मनोगतिः
जगामा देवदेवस्य
जगामा देवदेवस्य
शेषस्य चरणान्तिकम्.
शेषस्य चरणान्तिकम्.
And now the primary result of chanting that mantra is explained. Within few more days, after 7 days, he continued for few more days. Chitraketu Maharaj, whose mind was blazing with knowledge, attained the shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Ananta. Now that means he attained darshan of Lord Sankarsana. After few more days of practicing the same mantra, he had darshan of Lord Sankarsana. Lord Sankarsana appeared before Chitraketu Maharaj. In one sense, Lord Sankarsana gave shelter at his lotus feet to Chitraketu Maharaj. And what are the kind of darshan that Chitraketu Maharaj had? That beauty of Lord Sankarsana has been described in the next 2-3 verses. Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, here Lord Sankarsana means Ananta Sheshna. That is
Not
that
exactly Ananta Shesha. See, you remember we discussed in the 5th canto also. Currently the Ananta Shesha is the Jiva Tattva, the son of Kadru and Vinata. Sorry, son of Kashyapa and Kadru. But here, this is one of the Chaturvyuha. It is Lord Narayana himself, who is known as Sankarsana, who is one among the second quadruple expansion, who is guarding the entire Vaikuntha. So that Lord Sankarsana, not
Okay,
the
so
snake form of Ananta.
Okay, so although it is mentioned as Ananta Deva, it should be understood as the Chaturvya Sankarsana.
Yes.
Okay, and
Drona-
Prabhuji, in previous verse it is mentioned now that after 1 week repeatedly practicing, he achieved rulership of Vidyadharas. But generally, we say when somebody performs any austerities, Lord appears, or to whomsoever that person is performing austerity to, that person appears and then bestows something to the one who is doing austerity. But here, no mention of like that. It's there. So how like means how to understand that he just got it achieved means nobody said
See,
that
for example, so you are preparing, matlab, you are attending some competitive exams. You want to become something, but in between also you are trying to just attend other competitive exams also. You got qualification. You are also given admission. If you want to join, you can join. If you don't want to join, just forget it and go ahead. That is intermediate results. But Chitraketu Maharaj accepts it because he had a desire in the past, so he accepts it. Not
okay,
now, but afterwards. After discussing with Lord Sankarsana, he will accept it and he will continue in that position of the king of Vidyadharas.
means how it should be understood Prabhuji, like means no, Lord
See,
Sankarsana did
for example, a student is studying very nicely, and some company comes and offers you scholarship. So, my dear student, you are doing a very excellent in your academics. We want to provide you some financial aid. We'll give you scholarship. So, just because he got scholarship, he will stop studies.
no
His purpose of studying is not to get scholarship. His purpose of studying is to get
the admission.
something more than scholarship.
Yeah.
Because he showed that uh, academic credibility, the scholarship came on its own because he deserves it. So it came.
Yes, I understood perfectly here this point, Prabhuji. What I'm not understanding is means generally Lord appears na Prabhuji, then he bestows a particular benediction.
Not
Here nobody
necessarily for
has
every time.
appeared.
For every time, Lord no need to appear. Now sometimes without appearing also he can offer.
Okay, like some Akashvani kind of he just will
Ah,
bestow.
yes.
Okay.
Generally, Lord will appear, but sometimes there could be some exceptions like this also. Now without Lord appearing, also he can bestow. Why not?
Yeah, because there is no mention na Prabhuji, the voice was heard or nothing is
Ah.
mentioned. That is why I got
So
confused.
let
How
us see.
suddenly?
Let us see when Lord discusses. Will Lord say something about it, or we can say that whether that means he attained the qualification to be the king of Vidyadharas. In that way, whether it is offered to him verbally or not, we will see later on. When Lord speaks to him, whether Lord will say that or not, we don't know. But at least if he attained that qualification, he can be like that. Whether it is verbally told to him or not, we will come to know later on. We'll see at the end of the chapter.
Okay, okay, thank
Even if it is not being told also personally, so he can come to know by various means. नारदमुनि might come and tell, or somebody else will come and tell, yeah, आप इतना आपको ये मिल गया करके.
you. Okay, okay, Prabhuji, understood. Thank you.
मृणालगौरं सितिवास संस्फुरत्
मृणालगौरं क्षितिवास संस्फुरात्
किरीटकेयूर कटित्रकङ्कणम्
किरीटकेयूरकचित्रकङ्कणम्
प्रसन्नवक्त्रारुणलोचनमृतम्
प्रसन्नवक्त्रारुणलोचनमृतम्
ददर्श सिद्धेश्वरमण्डलै प्रभुम्.
ददर्श सिद्धेश्वरमण्डलै प्रभुम्.
He saw Chitraketu Maharaj saw the Supreme Lord, white like water lily, wearing a blue cloth, a glittering helmet, armlets, belt, bracelet, with smiling face and lotus eyes, surrounded by a group of perfect sages. Is it Ananta snake or is it Chaturbhuja Vaikuntha form?
But this is Lord Sankarsana Balrama's form only, na Prabhuji, blue cloth and things are mentioned. That
Not Balrama's cloth, he also wearing blue cloth. He is Vaikuntha form. तद्दर्शनध्वस्त समस्त किल्बिषा
तद्दर्शनध्वस्तसमस्तकिल्बिषां
स्वस्तामलान्तःकरणोऽभ्यभान्मुनि
स्वस्थामलान्तः करुणो अभयान्मुनिः
प्रवृद्धभक्त्या प्रणयाश्रुलोचना
प्रवृद्धभक्त्या प्रणयाश्रुलोचनः
प्रहृष्टरोमानमदादिपुरुषम्
प्रहृष्टरोमान् मदादिपुरुषम्.
His grief from not being able to attend the Lord was destroyed on seeing him. With completely spotless mind, Chitraketu Maharaj approached the Lord silently, with tears streaming from his eyes in great devotion, and with hair standing on end, offered respects to the Supreme Lord. First, he saw the Lord, and what kind of form of the Lord he saw, that is described. Then he approached near the Lord and offered Dandavat. And then, Sa Uttama Shloka Padabja Vistaram
उत्तमश्लोकपदाब्जविष्टरम्
Prema Shruleshair Upamehayam Muhum
प्रेमाश्रुलेशैरुपमेहयन्मुः
Premoparuddha Kilavarna Nirgamo
प्रेमोपरुद्धाखिलवर्णनिर्गमो
Naivashakattam Prasameditum Chiram.
नैवाशकत्तं प्रसमीडितुं चिरम्.
With tears of love and affection, Chitraketu Maharaj repeatedly moistened the resting place of the Supreme Lord's lotus feet. That means Chitraketu Maharaj fell flat and his eyes are very close to Lord Sankarsana's feet. Lord Sankarsana's feet might be resting on a, what we can say, a cushion, and that cushion is getting wet by the tears of Chitraketu Maharaj. Because his voice was choked in ecstasy for a considerable time, he was unable to utter any of the letters of the alphabets to offer the Lord suitable prayers. For some time, he could not even speak even a single word also. He was simply crying, 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 crying. And then finally, he becomes composed and he begins to offer prayers. And this is the last verse for today's discussion. Sorry for the delay. Tata samadaya mano manishaya
तथा समादाय मनोमनीषया
babasa etat pratilabdavagasu
बबास एतात् प्रतिलब्धवागसौ
niyamya sarvendriyabahya vartanam
नियम्य सर्वेन्द्रियबाह्यावर्तनम्
जगद्गुरुं शाश्वत विग्रहं शास्त्र विग्रहं
जगद्गुरुं शाश्वतशास्त्रविग्रहम्.
by controlling his mind with his intelligence and controlling the external parts of his senses, he recovered his speech and offered praise to Supreme Lord, who as a spiritual form as described in the Vaishnava literature, and who is the Guru of the entire universe. Then Chitraketu Maharaj became composed and began to offer prayers. Chitraketu Maharaj regained his speech by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. The Lord had a form of eternity, knowledge, and bliss, Sachidananda Swarupa, which is described in Shashvata scriptures. This statement negates the idea that the Lord has a form of Maya, as described in Jnana scriptures. The hardcore Jnanis, they say that Lord's form is made up of three modes of material nature. That has been negated by this verse, saying that the Lord had the form of Sachidananda Swarupa, which is described in Shashvata scriptures. That means Vaishnava scriptures. It is scripturally established that Lord has a transcendental form made up of Sachidananda Swarupa. That's side point anyway. So with this, we'll stop for today. Thank you very much for joining. And next week, we'll see the prayers offered by Chitraketu Maharaj. 34 to 48 are the prayers offered by Chitraketu Maharaj. Then 49 till the end of the chapter, Lord Sankarshana will respond. Both of them are philosophically very much imbued with lot of philosophy. We will discuss them slowly. Hare Krishna. So thank you very much
Hare
for
Krishna, Prabhuji.
joining.
Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
ma'am.
Thank you very
Prabhuji,
much.
one small last thing, like last time's portion I was reading. So Paramatma is present in everyone's heart, we say na Prabhuji. So in other species, but they don't have karma account like the human species, and also they don't have much intelligence also to take decisions or to perform any act as per using intelligence. So what is the position of Paramatma in those species, like what he does? Like here we say that yes, human being, how he is acting and what he is doing, because that will have karma account. The human being also has been granted some intelligence, so he is liable to take good decisions using that intelligence, and Paramatma is observing. But lower species, other species doesn't have that. So what Paramatma does it?
See, whether in our heart or in the heart of the animals, Paramatma doing only one thing, Yoga Nidra only. For example,
So Yoga
some
Nidra
sim-
means, yeah, please.
some simple understanding. Even within us also, you are a doctor, and some of us are engineers. So does Paramatma interacting with you in a different way or interacting with me in a different way, and with others in a different way?
No.
Then how you have got the knowledge of being a doctor and we got the knowledge of being an engineer?
As per own propensities, na Prabhu.
How did we develop that propensity?
Maybe previous impressions, previous life, or whatever.
No, two things: previous desires and previous and current endeavors. Of course, we can say previous and current desire and previous and current endeavor, we have become what we are. Similarly, some jiva had a desire and endeavors to become like that lower conscious animals. So Paramatma sanctioned. Paramatma only sanctions. Paramatma sanctioned you to become the doctor so that you become the knowledge. You can become a knowledgeable person in that medical area. And Paramatma sanctioned some of our people to become a businessman, to become engineer, or to become this, to become that, according to one's desire and one's endeavor. For everyone, Paramatma is sanctioning only. आपको इतना करना चाहिए, you desire, you want to do this much, Paramatma sanctions. And somebody desired that much only. I want to be like animal like this, so this much only. I don't want to do more. Paramatma sanctioned. So be like that. Why not?
But after sanctioning provision, now the person has gone into a suppose animal species. So
Ah,
now it is the role of Paramatma. Like,
there is nothing. Here also is sleeping. There also is sleeping. Here also is nothing to do.
okay.
एक
So
बार
he is
आपको
not
इंस्ट्रूमेंट
inquiring.
see, he has given you that instrument. आप वो इंस्ट्रूमेंट को यूज करो, बस जैसे चाहिए वैसे. That instrument and the capacity to do all these things.
Okay.
When it was given, it was already enrolled with that capacity, so you can use it accordingly. So you become like that. तो उनको जो इंस्ट्रूमेंट दिया उतना नहीं. अभी आजकल बच्चों का खिलौना है. Some खिलौना has the remote mechanism with battery operation, and some खिलौना has remote operation to some extent only with that keying operation, and some खिलौना does not have any operations only. You just have to flow. So for this you need to pay 10 rupees. For the second one you need to pay 100 rupees. For the other one you need to pay 1000 rupees. If you pay 1000 rupees, you get battery operated remote thing. If you pay 100 rupees, the keying version you will get. If you pay 10 rupees, you only get the plain the car with 4 wheels. You have to push. Other one will run according on its own. The first one you can operate through remote. You paid more there. You wanted that kind of things. You had a desire also. You paid more. And here you don't have so much to pay, and you only have this much desire. You got this
Yeah.
something simple.
Okay, so Paramatma will remain dormant in Yoga Nidra in whichever body one is.
Yes,
But he is not instigating to do particular karma or means
no.
inspiring them.
He only sanctions. Gatir Bharta Prabhu Sakshi Nivasa Sharanam Surut. Is Sakshi, Artha means actions. क्या करने का कैसे करने का आप देख लो.
Okay, understood, Pranjal. Yeah. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hari Tannatan, thank you. तो विनीत प्रभु सॉरी थोड़ा टेक्निकल हो गया आज, तो कभी कभी थोड़ा सा
For clearing the doubts. I did
I
not
don't know.
it depends upon the mood of the devotee that a Hare Krishna mantra can take you to Vaikuntha also if you want. I always thought it